Tornadoes have been making headlines in 2025, with an alarming trend of increased frequency and intensity. Understanding why so many tornadoes have occurred this year requires a look into the atmospheric conditions that foster their development. Tornadoes form when specific weather elements align. Warm, moist air near the ground meets cooler, dry air above, creating instability. When this instability combines with wind patterns that change direction and speed with height, a phenomenon known as wind shear, it sets the stage for rotating thunderstorms called supercells. Within these supercells, under the right conditions, tornadoes can develop. In 2025, the United States has experienced an unusually warm and wet spring. The Old Farmer's Almanac predicted above-average temperatures and increased rainfall for much of the country, particularly in the Deep South. These conditions contribute to the atmospheric instability necessary for severe thunderstorms and consequently tornadoes. Moreover, the Gulf of Mexico has been supplying abundant moisture to the central and southern regions of the U.S., enhancing the development of thunderstorms. The combination of warm, moist air from the Gulf and cooler air masses moving in from the north creates the perfect environment for a tornado formation. Understanding these factors helps explain the surge in tornado activity this year. However, the specific outbreaks and their impacts provide a clearer picture of the situation. In the next part, we'll delve into the major tornado outbreaks of 2025, examining their size, damage, and the communities affected. In the early months of 2025, the United States has experienced a series of devastating tornado outbreaks, each leaving a significant mark on the communities they struck. These events have underscored the volatile nature of this year's weather patterns and the profound impact on affected regions. On March 14th, a powerful storm system initiated a multi-day tornado outbreak across the central United States. The town of Franklin, Arkansas bore the brunt of an EF4 tornado, characterized by winds exceeding 166 miles per hour. This violent twister caused extensive destruction to homes and infrastructure, leading to multiple fatalities. The same day, Diaz, Arkansas experienced a similar EF4 tornado, compounding the devastation in the region. These tornadoes were part of a larger system that produced numerous significant tornadoes across several states. In the aftermath of the mid-March outbreak, communities like Cave City, Arkansas began the arduous process of recovery. An EF3 tornado had torn through the town with winds reaching 165 miles per hour, causing substantial damage. By March 31st, progress was evident as residents and volunteers worked tirelessly to clear debris and rebuild. The resilience displayed by these communities highlighted their determination to recover and prepare for future severe weather events. As April commenced, another formidable storm system swept through the southern and midwestern United States. On April 2nd, Owasso, Oklahoma, was struck by a tornado around 6:40 a.m., resulting in significant roof damage to homes, downed power lines, and uprooted trees. Fortunately, no injuries were reported, but the structural damage was considerable. Later that day, a large multiple vortex wedge tornado with wind speeds nearing 200 miles per hour carved a path of destruction near Lake City, Arkansas. This tornado prompted a rare tornado emergency, the highest level of alert as it approached densely populated areas. Approximately 40,000 residents were left without power, and at least 24 homes in Monette and Lake City sustained significant damage. 7 individuals were injured, underscoring the tornado's severity. The same storm system continued its destructive path into Missouri and Tennessee. In Missouri, the towns of Advance and Delta faced significant damage, with reports of destroyed homes and infrastructure. In Tennessee, Selmer was directly hit by a significant tornado in the early hours of April 3rd, leading to widespread destruction and prompting emergency response efforts. These events resulted in multiple fatalities and injuries across the affected states. The cumulative effect of these tornadoes has been profound. Beyond the tragic loss of life, thousands of homes have been damaged or destroyed, and critical infrastructure has been compromised. Power outages affected hundreds of thousands, and emergency services were stretched thin responding to the widespread devastation. In response, state and federal agencies mobilized resources to assist in recovery and provide aid to displaced residents. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, coordinated with local authorities to facilitate relief efforts, emphasizing the importance of preparedness and resilience in the face of such natural disasters. These consecutive tornado outbreaks in 2025 have highlighted the increasing volatility of weather patterns and the critical need for enhanced forecasting, early warning systems, and community preparedness to mitigate the impact of such devastating events. The series of destructive tornado outbreaks this year has raised questions about why so many have occurred in such a short time. Scientists and meteorologists have closely analyzed the atmospheric conditions leading to these storms, looking at how shifts in weather patterns have contributed to the severe outbreaks. One of the biggest factors influencing the high number of tornadoes this year has been the unusually strong jet stream activity. The jet stream, a fast-moving ribbon of air high in the atmosphere, plays a key role in storm formation. This year, this current has been positioned in a way that has repeatedly allowed warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico to collide with cold, dry air from the north. This interaction has created ideal conditions for powerful thunderstorms, which are the foundation for tornado formation. Additionally, scientists have observed a persistent La Niña pattern in the Pacific Ocean, which has influenced weather conditions across North America. La Niña typically leads to cooler ocean temperatures in the central and eastern Pacific, affecting atmospheric circulation patterns. This can enhance storm activity in the central United States by increasing instability in the atmosphere. In past years, with strong La Niña phases, tornado seasons have been more active than average, and 2025 has followed that pattern. Another significant factor is the unusually warm Gulf of Mexico waters. The sea surface temperatures in early 2025 have been among the highest recorded for this time of year. Warm ocean water leads to increased evaporation, sending more moisture into the atmosphere. When this warm, humid air moves northward and interacts with frontal boundaries and low-pressure systems, it fuels severe thunderstorms. These conditions have contributed to the repeated outbreaks of tornadoes across multiple states. For a tornado to develop, there must be a combination of wind shear and instability. Wind shear refers to changes in wind speed and direction at different levels of the atmosphere. In 2025, wind shear has been particularly strong in tornado-prone regions, meaning that thunderstorms have had the right conditions to rotate and become supercells, the type of storm most likely to produce tornadoes. Atmospheric instability is another essential ingredient. Instability occurs when warm air near the surface rises quickly into cooler air above, causing strong updrafts. This year, the atmosphere has been highly unstable due to strong temperature contrast between air masses. In some of the most damaging tornadoes, the instability was extreme, with temperature differences exceeding 30 degrees between the surface and the upper atmosphere. Traditionally, the central United States, including states like Kansas, Oklahoma, and Nebraska, has been known as Tornado Alley because of its frequent tornado activity. However, recent years have shown an eastward shift, with more tornadoes occurring in states like Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee. This trend has continued in 2025, with some of the worst tornadoes occurring in the southeastern states. This shift is partly due to changes in climate patterns and the increasing presence of warm, moist air further east. The Central Plains still experience tornadoes, but the frequency of severe storms in the Mississippi Valley and Deep South has increased. The combination of warm Gulf moisture, strong wind shear, and an active jet stream has made these regions especially vulnerable. Although it is still early in the year, 2025 is already on track to be one of the most active tornado seasons in recent history. Compared to previous years, the number of tornadoes recorded so far is significantly higher than average. Meteorologists have compared the start of this year to other highly active years, such as 2011, when a record number of tornadoes occurred across the United States, including the catastrophic outbreak in late April of that year. Some similarities exist, including the presence of a strong La Niña pattern and an active jet stream. However, 2025 has also introduced new factors, such as the exceptionally warm Gulf of Mexico, which has intensified storms even further. As the peak tornado season continues, forecasters are closely watching whether these conditions will persist. If the jet stream remains in a favorable position and the Gulf continues to supply warm, moist air, the heightened tornado activity could continue into late spring and early summer. Scientists are also studying how climate trends may be influencing tornado behavior. While no direct link has been proven between climate change and increased tornadoes, some evidence suggests that a warming climate can contribute to more extreme weather conditions. This includes stronger thunderstorms, more intense rainfall, and possibly changes in tornado frequency and distribution. With multiple severe outbreaks already recorded in 2025, Experts are urging communities in tornado-prone regions to stay prepared. Advances in forecasting and early warning systems have helped save lives, but the unpredictability of tornadoes remains a major challenge. Understanding why this year has been so active is a crucial step in improving future preparedness and response efforts. The record-breaking tornado outbreaks of spring 2025 have left lasting effects on the communities they struck. From destroyed homes and businesses to loss of life, the impact has been devastating. As meteorologists continue to analyze this year's severe weather patterns, emergency responders and government agencies are working to improve preparedness and recovery efforts. The destruction caused by the tornadoes of 2025 has been severe, with entire neighborhoods flattened and thousands of residents displaced. Some towns have suffered multiple tornado strikes in a short period, making recovery even more difficult. The cost of rebuilding is expected to be in the billions, with federal and state emergency funds being allocated to assist those affected. Insurance claims have skyrocketed and many families face long-term financial hardships due to property losses. In addition to physical damage, the emotional toll on survivors has been significant. Many people who lived through these tornadoes have described the fear and trauma of losing everything in a matter of seconds. Disaster relief organizations have reported a sharp increase in mental health support requests from affected communities, highlighting the need for ongoing psychological assistance in the aftermath of such devastating storms. One key area of focus following this year's deadly tornadoes has been improving early warning systems and emergency response strategies. Although tornado warnings have become more accurate in recent years, some storms this year formed and intensified so rapidly that people had little time to react. This has prompted discussions on how to enhance radar technology and warning communication methods. Mobile alerts and sirens remain critical tools in notifying people of approaching tornadoes. However, in some cases this year, sirens failed due to power outages or technical issues, leading to tragic consequences. Emergency officials are now pushing for increased funding to modernize alert systems and ensure they remain operational during severe weather. Another major focus has been improving public awareness of tornado safety measures. Some tornadoes in 2025 struck areas that do not typically experience such strong storms, catching many residents unprepared. In response, meteorologists and emergency management agencies are working on new public education campaigns to teach people how to take immediate action when a tornado warning is issued. The unprecedented number of tornadoes this year has also renewed discussions on how to make buildings and infrastructure more resistant to storm damage. Some of the most destructive tornadoes of this year have leveled entire towns, leaving only the strongest structures standing. Engineers and city planners are now exploring ways to reinforce homes, schools, and public buildings to better withstand future storms. One proposed solution is implementing stronger building codes in tornado-prone areas. This could include requiring homes to have reinforced safe rooms, impact-resistant windows, and stronger roof anchoring systems. In areas that were repeatedly hit by tornadoes this year, officials are considering whether new zoning regulations should be introduced to limit construction in high-risk zones. Underground storm shelters have also gained renewed attention. While they are common in some parts of the United States, many communities lack access to them. Some states are now considering incentives for homeowners to install storm shelters, as well as funding for public shelters that can accommodate larger populations. Scientists continue to study whether long-term climate trends are playing a role in the increasing tornado activity seen this year. While tornadoes have always been a part of North America's weather patterns, this year's outbreaks have raised concerns about potential shifts in where and when they occur. One emerging area of research focuses on the warming climate's impact on atmospheric instability. Some studies suggest that rising global temperatures could lead to more frequent and intense thunderstorms, which could in turn produce more tornadoes. However, other factors such as wind shear and jet stream patterns also play a role, making it difficult to predict exactly how tornado activity may change in the coming years. Meteorologists are also working on improving long-range forecasting methods to better predict when conditions will be favorable for severe weather outbreaks. Advances in computer modeling have allowed scientists to identify atmospheric patterns that may indicate an increased risk of tornadoes weeks in advance. If these methods continue to improve, they could help communities better prepare for severe tornado seasons in the future. The tornado outbreaks of 2025 have been some of the most intense and widespread in recent history. From the deadly storms in March to the ongoing destruction in April, this year has demonstrated the devastating power of nature. As recovery efforts continue, there is a strong focus on improving tornado preparedness, strengthening building codes, and advancing weather forecasting technology. For those living in tornado-prone areas, staying informed and prepared remains the best defense against these violent storms. Scientists, emergency responders, and government officials are all working together to understand why this year has been so active and to find ways to reduce the damage caused by future tornadoes. While no one can stop tornadoes from forming, the lessons learned from this year will play a crucial role in helping communities better withstand and recover from future outbreaks.